Hey, what's up, man? I got an exciting video for you guys. You know, you get these people all the time telling me, "Yo, bro, man, my HLG quantum board will smash your lights, bro. It'll smash your light, bro." This video is gonna show you, no, bro, no, you can't be smashing my lights, bro. Anyway, so let's check it out. I'm gonna show you the absolute evidence from their site, the numbers they get. I'm going to show you some actual real live numbers real quick on the Goliath V2. I wish I had more footage of actually doing all of the edges, but I'm going to be sending my light in to a third party company. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, let's get to it. So as a spoiler, the Goliath V2 beats it. So just so you know, like by a lot. Anyway, let's go to the HLG website here. Let's go to their catalog. Let's go to LED lamps. What are the best lamps? Well, this one's a pretty good lamp for the price. Spoiler, smash it. I smash it with my Goliath V2. I smash this light. This light puts up a better fight, so I think we should use their best light. If you want, we can also look at this one. But let's look at their best light here. $1,500. You're going to be tossing down $1,500. Man, you can get two of my Goliath V2s for only $1,200. Two of my Goliath V2s for less money, and it's better. They smash them. But we'll go through all the pros and cons in just a second. But let's first look at the numbers. So let's scroll down here real quick. I'm gonna just tell you right now. This is the numbers we're going to get right now. 768 for our, that's the average par for a Goliath V2. Let's go down here. See, a lot of this stuff here, a lot of these numbers aren't that important. And you're going to see why in a second. Because if I do the way that they claim they get this number, my number's a little bit less than this. It's like 1200 or something. Excuse me, it's like I meant 1200, like 2000 or so, right? 1900 to 2000. So it's a little bit less. And this number is a little bit higher than mine. Mine's 2.7. Theirs is 3.2. Does this make any difference to how much light is actually getting to all your plants? No, you're going to see that right now, right? So let's look at this is what's important, right? This is from their site. They send it off to a third party. Supposedly, I don't know if they actually have ties with this company or whatever. So all I know is one thing, the way this company does their readouts here is a little bit weird because all these numbers are the same on each corner. That's just not practical, right? Like in order to set up a light so perfectly that the edges are each corner is exactly the same number, that's just almost impossible to do. Like I don't know how you even do that, right? Even if the light is consistent, you have to be able to place it perfectly in the center with the measuring device. So I think what they do is they probably just measure one corner and then they just multiply those numbers, right? So they go, well, we measured this whole corner of the light. And so we're just going to take each of these markings and just multiply them over here. So you have 911.25 here. We'll just put it over there as well. And to get 911.25 and 911.25, no, dude, that's not going to happen, right? Look at when you actually try to set up your light, center it, you get numbers more like this, right? Because I'm not just taking one corner and then multiplying it over. I'm actually doing each measurement. And you can see 830, 815, 832, 827. They're all pretty close, but they're not going to be identical. And especially to be so identical as to the 0.50, no way, dude. That's not going to happen. You're not going to look at 450.5, 450.5 on these edges. These edges are a little bit different, but it's 480.5, 480.5. That's not going to happen. So I'm almost positive the way this company does it is they measure just one corner of the light. And if they pick the best corner, then you're really trying to give that light the most favor as possible. And that's kind of cheating, but still doesn't matter because we're going to smash it, bro. Anyway, I think it's funny because that's how they approach me. Like, my light will smash yours, bro. Like I get all these comments all the time. I usually just delete them because they're just so stupid. They're not even worth responding to. Okay, so let's go ahead and get down to it. So why is this average number important? Because this is how much light is going to the area. Now this is a 6-inch square grid. The reason why we can't use this one, and I'm going to do the most favorable thing I can for this light, by the way, we're going to get something in between these two because I think we can get the light a little bit closer and get slightly better average par out of it, slightly better performance out of it without burning the plants. The problem with this is you're going to burn your plants, right? Because 1300, 1300, 12 and 12, 11. So all this right here is a 2x2 area right here, by the way. So how this works is you have a 6-inch square grid. Each of these squares is 6 inches squared, right? Or 6 inches across each way. So you go 6 inches, 6 inches. So this is 1 foot here. This line is 1 foot from the center. Well, it's also true this way, and this way, right? So this way is 1 foot from the center, which means this is 2 feet from here to here is 2 feet. See, 6 inches, 6 inches, 1 feet. 6 inches, 1.5 feet, 6 inches, 2 feet, right? So this square here is 2 feet by 2 feet. So we have a 2 foot by 2 foot here. If you're only covering this area, this would be really, really good. Anyway, then you go out another half a foot and then another foot, right? So this here would be 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. So this line here is 4 feet by 4 feet. And then they go out even a little bit further out here, which would be, you know, 5 feet because you have half a foot here, half a foot here. So this is a 5 foot, but we don't need to go out there. We just want to cover this 4 by 4 foot area. That's the main area that you want to be concerned with. Besides, these numbers drop way off too much to really cover 5 feet at this distance. Okay, so um, at this distance here, at 12 inches high, you're going to burn your plant. So these numbers are not usable because this will give you a high average because all these numbers here are so big. Although the buds out on the edge here aren't going to do so well. Look, especially ones in the corner. A 205 par. I don't know what they're exactly out there, how the spectrum is, but it looked pretty decent. And it seems like a lot of people are moving toward my spectrum as time goes on. So that's good. But anyway, so this here 205 just isn't going to cut it, right? Notice my edge 535, right? My edges are good. The corners of my light are excellent. That's really, really high. 535 par. These buds are going to get nice and big and dense and good, right? But at 200, you're really starting to yeah, even at 300, you can get like banana sized buds. At 200, they're going to be a little bit smaller than bananas, and that's if you have a really big yielding strain. Anyway, so the 480, this is fine. This is respectable, and 450 and stuff. But you notice mine 700. You can already see mine's gonna be better. But anyway, these numbers here are not doable, right? 13, 33, that's gonna burn your plants, right? Pretty much anything over 1,000. Even 1,000 is already pushing your plant to its limit, and the buds in the center are being more stressed out than everywhere else. That's why I recommend when you do grow with the Goliath V2, and this will actually give you bigger numbers. So this number is taken just from straight bars. But if you take these bars, like see how these are turned in? You don't want to do that. Turn these out. Turn this last 3 or 4 and start turning them out where they face the other way, the opposite of what they're doing now. So instead of being faced in, face them out like this, or I don't know. Anyway, here's straight, face, it's backwards. I mean, face them out. No, okay, it's that side. So it is backwards. The camera is backwards. Anyway, you get what I mean. Face them outward, right? That will make the edge have bigger numbers and the center slightly smaller numbers. And that's good because you don't want that center to get too hot anyway. Anyway, this is too hot for this whole center area here, this 2 by 2 area. All these numbers are too big. This whole, it's not just the center number, it's all these, because the way that the light is designed, there's a lot of overlappage here. And so you have all these lights are just too much. This is all too much for the plant. And so this will burn the plant. And because it's so many areas, like with my light, even if you do get a hot area, it's just going to be the center. All these other numbers are perfectly good, right? This number here, 1,000, that's a little bit hot. It's as high as you want to go. You don't want to go higher than 1,000. But if I turn those outer bars out, this number goes down, these numbers go up a little bit, and that balances out just perfectly. But if it's just this one little center area, right, a small little area, just like that main center bud that's getting that high, it's not going to really harm the plant too much, even if that center bud suffers a little bit. But if it's all these center buds, this whole 2 foot by 2 foot area that's suffering too much light, the whole entire plant can actually suffer, and you'll get less yield for the whole entire plant. Like you'll actually get more yield if you do it at 18 inches away, even though these numbers, but they're still really high. See, 906. So these are still really good, but you're gonna have less stress on the plant, and the plant's gonna do better and yield better for you. But somewhere in between these, I'm thinking drop this down to about 16 inches, and then all these numbers go up a little bit. These numbers stay the same. We'll talk about that in just a second. So let's first off get practical numbers here, numbers that will actually work, and then we'll show with my light. Just so you know, I mean, you can do the math here. These are the measurements we're gonna be taking, right? Because this gives you a good average for a 4 by 4 area. You don't have to do all those individual numbers, right? You could do that. You can add up all those individual numbers, but it's going to give you about the same average because you have to then divide it by that many numbers, right? But 17 points of measurement and then divide by 17, that works really good. And the numbers you want to do is the center. You want to do these at 2 feet away. So you have the square that's 2 feet away. You want to do these 4 edges, and then you want to do the 4 corners. And then at 4 feet away, you want to do the four edges and then the 4 corners. 17 points of measurement, divide that number by 17. So you add all those numbers together, add these 17 numbers together, divide by 17, you get 768, right? If you don't get 768, you did something wrong. But so redo your math again. But that's the number you're going to get. An average par of 768, which is insane, folks. That's absolutely mind-boggling huge. Like that blew my mind. I couldn't believe it because we never did a proper measurement until more recently. And I'm like, oh my God, this is definitely stronger than the max yield. The max yield has about, I think it's 640 to 680. I can't remember. I have a video on it, but it's one with the black dog, the max yield versus black dog, but something around there, right? It also uses a little bit less electricity at like 630 versus this one uses about 680 to 700. So it is a little bit different there. It's more like 680 though. It's about what it usually uses. Anyway, so um, I thought, well, maybe that extra electricity. No, no, no. That won't make up for this. That just won't. So almost 100 extra par on top of the max yield. So it's definitely a stronger light at almost 100 extra par. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get these numbers going on here. And this average par is how you know you're going to get good yield. Now, if you had like really huge numbers here and really small numbers out here, the average weight isn't going to be very good, right? These numbers have to be more balanced, right? Because way out here in the corner, these buds aren't going to be very developed. Whereas buds out here on the edge will be more developed, and all these buds in this first like 3 foot area are going to be nice and developed. But everything else as you get out here to the 4 foot area, all the edge buds aren't going to be nearly as developed. And so you want more even numbers, right? But this is pretty even. This is fine, I think. Getting 244, this isn't too bad actually. And notice these edge numbers and these edge numbers actually went up at 18 inches away versus 12 inches away because it allows more light to as the light gets up, it allows more light to cross each other and hit those edges more. Anyway, so let's go ahead and do these numbers really fast. And so the numbers I'm going to be taking is the center number, the 906, and then go out 2 feet. Remember, it's going to be 6 inches, 6 inches. This is the 2 foot square here. So we do an 813, 814, 906, 814, 813, 814, 906, 814, right? So 9 numbers, and then we're going to go out to the 4 foot mark, 480, 244, 450, 244, 480, 244, 450, 244. Those are the numbers we're going to be doing. I don't want to be boring, so I think I'm just going to speed up through all that. And I know that they're the same in each one here. I got 906, 906, 813, 813. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go 906. And I'm just going to go 813 plus 813. So I got those two edges done. Then I'm going to do these two edges, 906. So plus 906 plus 906. And then the corners are all the same, 814. So plus 814 plus 814 plus 814 plus 814. Okay, so far so good. I think this is, yeah, pretty sure that number is accurate so far. I'll double check to make sure I did this right, but I've done this before. So then we're going to do these numbers out here. Again, because this number and this number are the same, I'm going to do plus 480 plus 480. And then 450 and 450 plus 450 plus 450. That's all the edge numbers. And then we got to do the corners. The corners are all 244. So plus 244 plus 244 plus 244 plus 244. You also could have done 244 times 4 and then to add that number. But anyway, yeah. So this is right. This is what we had last time when I did it. So then we're going to divide that by 17 because we did 17 numbers. So divide this by 17 and we get a whopping 613. This actually isn't bad. 613 is pretty good. It's a little bit under a double-ended Gavita ball, but it's right around 1,000 end HPS. So if they advertise this light to compete with a 1,000 watt HPS using less electricity, that's correct. This is about 1,000 watt HPS. Not a double-ended. A double-ended 1,000 watt HPS is around 630 to 640. Now they use more electricity, but they have a little bit higher par as well. But that just comes at, I think, the cost of electricity, really, because the technology isn't really better than a single-ended HPS bulb. Obviously, because if a single HPS bulb is 580 to 600 and the double-ended bulb is like 630 to 640 and it uses like 200 extra watts, that's a lot of extra watts just to get that slightly extra, yield out of it. Anyway, so that's that. One thing that's true though about the double-ended bulbs, so the double-ended HPS bulbs, they have better edge numbers. So either you're going to get bigger yields with them, even if the numbers aren't too much different. That's why it's important to pay attention to these edge numbers. Anyway, so at 613, that's very respectable. But look at, I'm smacking it, bro. I thought the HLG was going to smack me, bro. Thought it was going to smack me, bro. I thought I was gonna smash my light to pieces. Like, oh, your light can't really? 768, bro. It smashes. Now, here's a video I did, and unfortunately, I had a video where she had taken more measurements, but I can't find it anywhere. And so I do have this video that I was originally going to show. And so first off, I show from 6 feet away, 347 at 6 feet away. So this thing has mega penetration, right? Even if you're 6 feet away, you're penetrating deep into your plant. And then we go at like about a little over. See, hold on, let me see. I think right here, we're about a foot away. This is a little too close. We'll get better numbers on the edge if we go up just a little bit higher, like more like the 17. So 11, 13 in the center. That's a little too high. So she went a little bit too low. I wanted it more like at 14, 17 inches away. Also, this is an old light. This light is, she's taking these measurements after we've used this light for like 2 years, right? So lights degrade over time, but look, it hasn't degraded much because that number's still really high. That's about what you get out of a new light. So it hasn't really degraded. And then you got about 615 on the edge here. Now this is almost okay. So this is the corner over here. This isn't the center. So this isn't the exact center edge. The center edge would be more right here, about 700, and the way in the corner would be about 5. So we're moving toward that corner. And so the numbers are pretty close on the edge, even at 12 inches away. But I think it would have been, I think she's more like right about here, actually. It should have been a little bit higher, but that would she just had to back the light off a little bit. If she backed the light off a little bit, we would be where more where we need to be. Anyway, I just wanted to show that's all I have right now, but I'm going to send this light in anyway to a third party company so that third party can give me numbers like this. I can have a thing like this, and then we can see. That way, everyone can just see like, yeah, I mean these measurements we did do ourselves at 17 inches away with a new light, but anyway, and you can see they're all different numbers because we're doing each measurement individually. We're not just doing one corner then multiplying it like they seem to be doing here. Anyway, but I do plan on sending it. I don't know if I'm gonna send it to this company or a different company. Maybe this one that's closer to me, but I do want to send my light off to get tested. But look at these numbers. Even at 3 feet away, look at these numbers, man. These are insane. These are insane numbers for being 3 feet away from the plant. And I don't even know if you ever want to be 3 feet away ever with this light. I would think maybe 2 feet away to cover a 5x5. Anyway, so far we see that my light beats it without a doubt. 768 is much higher average par than 613. But if we do these numbers, we get a much higher number. We get more close to like the 768, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's really close to that. But this will burn your plant, so it's not practical. So let's give them the most favor as possible. Let's try to figure out the numbers between these two, right? So what if we, instead of 18 inches and this is 12 inches? So we want to be about 15 inches, 16 inches away, right? And that will give us right about in between these numbers, right? So if we have, well, 986 doesn't change much, and then here 906, right? So basically, like what kind of falls in between that, and we'll say like maybe 950 or so, and we're going to do like that for each number. And then like these numbers here are 881 at 12 inches, and here they're at 813. So something in between that, right? So right around 850. And then here's you're at 1300, and then here we're at 906, so something in between that. So right around, 1,000, 1,100. Remember, we don't want to go over 1,000, so we want to keep it about, we want to get this number only to about 1,000. So I'm thinking maybe 16 inches would be better. So we don't want to go over 1,000 because that, again, that's where you stress your plan out. So we want to keep that at 1,000, and then yeah, so that's what I did. Basically, I went, okay, let's go somewhere between these two numbers. We don't want to go higher than 1,000, and that means that these edges here will be about 950. If this is 1,000, then these ones would be about 950. I'm actually averaging up, not averaging down. Like the numbers would actually be a little lower if they actually did the same test at 15, 16 inches away. So I'm just kind of favoring upward with the numbers to give it the best possible numbers, the best possible outcome as we can. And then notice here we have 205 and here we have 244. So the closer we get, the lower this number gets. I'm going to keep these numbers the same. These numbers would not stay the same, right? If we lower this light down to 16 inches, these numbers would lower a little bit, but we're going to keep them the same. So with those numbers, then let's go ahead and do the math really quickly here. So we're going to go with 1,000 in the center. Or actually, we won't, well, it never reaches 1,000 center. My bad. I'm at 950 in the center. And then we're going to do 950 on these two. Oh, no, 1,000, sorry. We want to go up to 1,000. So 950 in the center plus 1,000 and then plus 1,000 because we want these two numbers to be 1,000. And then these two numbers would be somewhere between, they're like 850 because they're between the two. The other one was like like 860 or whatever. So we're actually, again, averaging up. So plus 850 plus 850. Cool. So we got those numbers. Now we need these four corner numbers here. 814 here and 1,073 here. So somewhere in between those two. I was looking at something else here real quick. Hold on. Yeah, something between those two. So it has to be a little bit, let's see here, 8. So right around 950 to 1,000. Well, if these are 1,000, these would be a little bit less because that's how it is up there. So it's probably around 950. So we got four 950s. So we'll go plus 950 plus 950 plus 950 plus 950. Okay. Then we got to do these numbers out here on the edge. And we got 450 and 450. So plus 450 plus 450. And then these two edges here is 480 plus 480 plus 480. And then we got the corners, which are 244. Now remember, these numbers would actually be lower as we go out. Did I do that right, or did I just miss 1, 244? Man, it doesn't show me history. Is there a way to show history on this? Oh wait, what if I go like scientific or something? Would that? Oh, I just ruined all of that. Hold on, let me see something. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's what we want. Cool. Okay, so you can do it to where it does that, and then you restart. Okay, let's do that one more time. Sorry about that. So 950 for the center, and then we want to go 850 for the edges here. So plus 850 plus 850. And then we want to go, so that's these edges, 850, 850. And then these ones, we're at 950. Or no, we're at 1,000, right? No, 950. No, 1,000, sorry. Plus 1,000, plus 1,000. Okay, so I got the edges done. And then the corners were going to be at 950. Keep in mind, this is given it the best favor possible. Like it wouldn't actually be this high. One thing I don't like is the last numbers here is like I have three 950s there. The last one I just added is here. It doesn't show up here yet. I've added another number for it to show up there. All right, then we just have to do these the outside edges, the four feet. We're going to keep these the same. Remember, these would go down as we got closer because we can see they go down as you get closer. But we're going to keep them the same. So plus 452 times, and then plus 482 times. And that covers the 4-foot edges. And then we need the corners here, the 244s. So plus 244, plus 244, plus 244, plus 244. That's all the 44s. And okay, so I think I did it right before. And we're going to divide that by 17, 17 points of measurement. And this gives us 663, right? So even if we try to get this light to where it's at the best possible distance from your plants, that's not going to stress your plants out so you get the best, biggest possible yields from this light, your average par is 663. The main reason for that is their edge fall off point. Their edges fall off way too much, especially the corners. Their corners have really bad fall off. And I'm not really sure what they can do to prevent that with this design here. Because look, you don't have a whole lot of lights overlapping the corners. Like you would think because this is in the corner that this would cover, but it's just the way that the design is, it just doesn't cover the corners very much. And yeah, so anyway, that's that. So 663. Well, compare that with our light 768. So what wins? Well, our light wins, right? So as far as the average par goes, and having these corners be high numbers is going to give you really big, like this whole corner. All your corner buds are going to be much bigger and fuller than if you use the other light, and that's why the average par is important, right? Those lower numbers on the corner brings the whole average down, and that reflects what would actually happen in real life because those corners are not going to be nearly as developed as everywhere else. But with my light, the corners are going to be very developed. 500 par is more than enough with a good spectrum to give you really, really nice results. Okay, so what are the other things compared though, right? Well, price. Mine's only $599, so 600 bucks. They want 1500, right? They want 1500 for their light. So you can buy two of my lights for less than one of their lights. And it outperforms them, right? It's better light all the way around. It's going to give you way bigger yields. And I believe the size is smaller too. So my size is like right around 3.5 by right around 3.5 by 3.5, I think. Let me see. I think that's right. Yeah, so it's actually 3 feet, not 3.5, 3 feet, sorry. So about 3 feet by 3 feet and then about 4 inches tall. And that's mainly because of this centerpiece here, from here all the way down to the bottom of the light. So it doesn't take up that much room, right? So you're able to cover that big area without taking a whole lot of room. And I'm not sure what their light actually measures at. I'd even look at that. So we can look at that really quickly here. Do they show somewhere quickly? So my point is, even though they have a 3.2 efficiency and I have a 2.7, that doesn't make much of a difference because it's the design of the whole system. Like how much light are you reaching the edges with and stuff? What is the overall yield going to be? Which is what an average par gives you a good idea of. And so you see my numbers win there. And look, it's thanks to this right here, this double lens technology. And this took me a long time to develop a bar design that would work because it was really hard to figure out how to get double lens technology to work on a bar design. So if you remember before, my double lenses were quite large, and therefore each LED had to be a certain distance away in order to fit those um, double lenses on there, right? Well, with this, it just wasn't practical. The bars are too small. I tried to make different kind of bar designs, but then the LEDs were too far away. So then the overall power just wasn't enough. And then once we got SMDs, and then we had a better double lens, a lens that can actually fit over the SMDs without being the SMDs can be spaced, close enough together to where the overall power of the light is where I want it to be. And then these weren't impeding that, right? Before is like I couldn't get the SMDs close enough because the lenses were too big. So we found a way to make the lenses smaller, but still have that same double lens technology. I'm not going to tell you all the angles. There's two different angles. Maybe it's a small, big, maybe it's a big, small, and what those two angles are, because that's, you know, the knowledge of that's what makes these lights so good. And so you can just experiment and figure it out yourself and maybe try to beat my light one day. Okay, so also the ESA. Okay, so anyway, that's how I get those big ass numbers on the edges and stuff because I have these double lenses that are allowing the light to spread the way I want it to and where I want it to go away from the center and more toward the edges. There's a hint. Okay, so price. You can buy two of my lights for the price of one of theirs. Actually, for less than you're saving money. 1,500 versus 1,200. So you're saving 300 bucks and you're getting two lights for the price of one. Or you just buy one light and you save a whole bunch of money and you can buy a tent and other stuff that you need to grow with. Okay, so it's more affordable. They do have other lights though, but it's not nearly as powerful. So this light here, not nearly as powerful. If you look at their actual third-party one here, where is it at? I think it's from the same company or no, not. Well, see these, I don't trust these numbers. These numbers are, they're saying this light's better than the other light. Because look at these edge numbers. They're saying this light's better than the other light. And that's just, I thought I could have swore they had a third party for this one as well. There's just no way. Look at it, like everything about this light isn't as good as the other one. And somehow they're saying it has higher numbers. And look at even their overall PPFD, PPF, whatever. Mine is higher than this for sure. My PPF is like 1200, or excuse me, I'm at 2000. Um, let's see here. Where is it at? In third. Oh, here we go. Independent. Oh, here we go. Watch this. This is why I don't think they're accurate. I remember now. This is why they're not accurate. Because look at the third party. None of these numbers are even close to what they had. Look at, they had 400 at this edge. Right. This is the 4 foot edge. They had 400 here. 175. How is that anywhere close to what they had? How did they get such wrong numbers here? Let's go further away. Does it make much difference? 190. No, it doesn't make a difference, right? So, and look how far, look at 796 here at 30 inches away. So this is the most favorable one to use. These numbers are a little bit high here, but I don't think that's gonna be too big of a deal. It's not. It's only a little over 1,000, so I think this should be fine. I might have to back it away just a little bit more. This is at 24 inches away. I wonder why they didn't do one at like 14 inches away or something. That's weird. I wonder why they only did it at 24. Maybe they weren't getting good numbers. Either way, look at that's horrible. 175? No, dude, that's not going to give you good buds. So how do they have such conflicting numbers? Like their own numbers don't match these numbers at all. Look, even I mean here they match more. Like if you go out here, look at here they match more. 827 and 641. That's closer to what they had on their own site because I had it at like 7 something and then something. So this actually might even be a little bit better than what they have on their site. But when you get up to that 4 foot mark, remember this is a 6 inch grid, so 1 foot, 2 feet, 2 feet, right? So you go 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. This is a 4 foot area. Their edge here is really bad too, 382. They had on their site, they had it closer to almost 600. So, and even if you use their data, it's still not as good as my light, right? Not even close. It's like almost 100 par off average. But these numbers, very not much lower than what they have. Anyway, let's just do I'll do the math real quick. You can do it too. Just you want to do this number here, and I'll just tell you what I'm doing. So all you want to do is you want to go the center number. So we're going to go 1107, and then we're going to do these numbers here. So we got 827 for each one of those. So plus 827 plus 827, and then these two here, 844 plus 844 plus 844. Remember, this is a 2 foot by 2 foot, and then we want to do the corners, 641. So plus 641 times 4 times. And that gives us this 2 by 2. And then we got to go out here and go 390 and 390. So let's do that time plus 390 plus 390. And then these edges here, 382 plus 382 plus 382. And then the corners, all 175. Plus 175, plus 175, plus 175, plus 175. And then, ooh, this is bad. I already know this is bad. And then we divide that by 17. 526. So this light, boo, 526. This isn't really even worth the electricity it's using. I mean, it's not horrible. This will give you, you can get a decent yield out of that. But compared to like 768 now, compared to the other light now. So this is not nearly as good light. But this light is $1,000. But for $1,000, is it worth it? So I don't know that. I don't like that these numbers are so different than the numbers they claimed. Why is the third party numbers so different than their own numbers? Why do they even publish that? Why is it on their site? That's just weird. Why would they show themselves to be liars? Like, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but look how different these numbers are. Look, a white border is a 4 by 4. Look at here. And look at, they even go out further than that. This is like the 5 foot mark. Even their 5 foot corners is higher than their testing. 345, and then the actual third party test, 175 at a 4 foot corner, right? How is that so different? Now, these numbers were pretty close. Like here, the black border, 2 by 2. So if you look at these numbers here, like around 7, I don't know what that says, hard to read. Is that 900 or 700? It actually looks like that's 930. Yeah, 930. Then the edges is like 772 and 748, right? That's so different. Look, remember, 748, 900 for this 2 foot edge. Let's go to that third party again. From third party, look at the difference here. 8 and 6. Pretty closer, but still not right. That's at 24 inches. How far was this away? This also, look at same height, 24 inches. They claim this is at 24 inches away. This chart, this first one, is at 24 inches away. How can their numbers be so different? And look at this edge number. Look at 93. Right, this is when you get out to that 5 foot edge mark. But at the 4 feet edge is 175. They like, it's almost like they took this number, right, which is at the 3 feet mark, and try to use that number or something. Even then, it's not right. They still use a higher number. Because look at this. Sorry, here. They're using like 400, 493 and 400 for this corner, and up here they're using like 568, right? But if you go back to the chart here, look at the difference. 3, not 5. 382, not 568. 175, not 400. Now, these numbers are a little bit closer, but this is 3 feet mark, right? Because look at 6 feet or 6 inches, half a foot, half a foot. So that's 1 foot, half a foot, right? So that's So then you just do it like this. You go half a foot, half a foot, half a foot. So that's 1.5 feet, 2 feet, 2.5 feet, 3 feet. So this is the 3 feet, right? So that's only 3 by 3. So they're using, it's almost like if they're using these numbers and trying to push them out here, right? They're just cheating. They're just, maybe they made a mistake. I don't know if they're purposely lying, but how can they not notice the discrepancy? When they got these test results back, did they not look at it and go, oh, that's not very good, 175, we need to work on that. We need to redesign this light and try to get that number higher. That's not going to be good for the overall average yield. Anyway, so not nearly as good of a light, right? Not nearly as good of a light. So if you're going to buy one of their lights, you want to buy this one. This is their best light. Sorry, my voice is like starting to go out on me. This gives you definitely better numbers. But the problem is the price. And my light beats it, right? So for all those people that claim that the quantum boards are like the best technology ever, it's just not true. It's just not true, right? When you try to compare them, both of these lights use around the same amount of watts. This one comes close. This design comes close. They need to do something different. They need to get these edges up, but I don't know what they can do, but they need to do something to get these edges up. And I'm thinking they need to figure out these are so close together, they're not going to be able to use double lens technology. They might be able to use a tiny secondary lens, maybe. Anyway, they need to redesign their idea. They need to come up with a way to make those edges bigger. That's the main weakness of this light is the edges. All the edges are poo-poo doo-doo. And I know one reason why there's no lights here, no lights here. So maybe if they like ran a strip here and a strip here, that might change it. At least the edge will be a little better. This edge or here won't be very good though. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what they can do. The corners, that's not gonna help the corner at all. Just the design is just not good enough, I don't think. I don't think it's ever going, no matter what they do with the lenses here, I don't think it's gonna help them. Anyway, so that's the first part. The last thing I wanted to mention is, so mine beats it by price, is what about fixability? How easy are these to fix? If something goes out here, is it easy to replace this board? It looks like it's not too difficult. Mine's super easy. Like you definitely need tools here for sure. With mine, no tools are needed. All you have to do, you just here you can see it right here. You unplug it, right? So it unplugs here, and that just you just unscrew it and pops out. And then here you just unclip this. It's really easy. You just press a button, boom, it unclips. No tools needed. Bar comes off. You take a bar off, put the new bar on. And all the time I've been selling these lights, all the time I've been selling these lights, and it's been a couple of years now I've been selling these lights. My original light, I've been using it for like 2 years or more now, and it's still good to go, right? Nothing's gone bad with it. And it's the original design where you actually needed tools to get the just like a little screwdriver to get the bars off. But anyway, so or I think there's a little Allen wrench. Anyway, it comes with that. But anyway, so they're not like that no more though. But mine's like one of the original designs. Anyway, so no problems with it. And all the time I've been selling these, I've only had to send out 2 or 3 bars max. 2 to 3 bars. That's it. That's it. And all that time, I've had to send out no drivers, right? Drivers are inside the centerpiece, no drivers. So these lights are very, very good to go, right? They're going to last you a long time. And so, and also it's free parts for that. At least I think the first 2 years it's free parts. So you just, show me the picture, show me that what's wrong with it, and then I can send you out the replacement part. Like I said, I've only had to send out 3 of them so far. Right, so this has been my light that has the most longevity as far as nothing going wrong with it. Max yield is pretty good too, but so far this is the least amount of problems with any light. So it beats the max yield by a lot more than I thought. So I need to rewrite this because it's not on par. It's not as powerful. It's more powerful than the max yield by a long shot, almost 100 average par extra. That makes a lot of every 100 average par for a 4x4 makes a big difference in possible yield, like a lot, right? If you have a light that does 500 average par for 4x4 and a light that does 600, that's a huge difference in what you're going to get out of that area. Like a huge difference, like massive difference. You're talking probably, I don't have to average it out, but it's quite a big difference. So lastly, to wrap this up, easier to fix, longevity is there, right? All the parts are good, everything's going to last you a long time. Price range, super excellent. You're going to get this for an excellent price, way better than their price, right? You're saving like, well, see exactly what, I don't know why I don't want to do, my brain doesn't want to do math right now. I want to look dumb and get it wrong. So they have 1,500 for theirs, and we'll minus 600 for ours. So you're saving 900 bucks. Saving 900 bucks, right? With that $900, you can buy a really good grow tent. You can buy an AC, a fan. You can buy everything else pretty much you need to grow with, right? So definitely worth it. And it's better. It's going to give you better yields, better light quality. Like everything is. There's just no reason not to get it. Like, look, bro, all you guys out there that was claiming quantum boards this, quantum boards that, you can't beat it. HLG is no, doesn't. It doesn't work that way. Stay tuned. I do plan on sending the slide out. Like, these are the numbers that we did ourselves, but I think that third party thing is a good idea. So I want to send out to a third party, that way you can just see the numbers from them, and we'll look at it and go, look, it's just, that's what it is. We don't lie. We don't bullshit like the HLG site. And look, I'm not saying they're lying. Maybe they fucked up, made a mistake. They maybe just made an honest mistake, but you can see something's wrong there, because a third party is very different than their own measurements. Okay, so real quick overview. It's more powerful, like a lot more powerful. Way better price point. You're saving like $900. Even if you get their other light, you're saving $400, right? So even if you were to get their cheaper one, the $1,000 light, mine's 600, so you're still saving $400 right there. That's enough to buy you a really good grow tent. So better price point for sure. More powerful for sure. The size about the same, right? There's about 3.1 inches or 3.1 feet here, by a little bit less than 3 feet. So it's about the same size as mine. So the size about the same. Um, Durability, I don't know. I imagine these have good durability, like how long they last for. And I know that mine lasts a long time. They're very, very stable, very, very good. I've only, like I said, had to send out 3 bars and no drivers in like over 2 years. So excellent, excellent for there. And all the parts will come to you for free. And what else is there? And the best light spectrum that I've ever seen for being able to see your plants, what's wrong with them, and getting the best growth out of your plants, getting the most frost on them, and getting the densest buds. So like everything is just better. So why not get a Goliath V2? Just makes sense. Everything seems better. The only thing they have that might be better is their warranty. It's a little bit longer, but I don't know what they cover with that warranty. I haven't looked. I haven't combed through it. I don't know how they honor it. I don't know if they just send out free parts for 5 years, or what kind of hoops they make you jump through in order to get that warranty. Mine's very simply send me a picture, what's wrong with it, and I'm like, okay, cool, it needs a bar or it needs a drive or whatever, and send you the part. But so far, only 3 bars. I think it was only 2 bars, but maybe three has been sent out. I can't remember if one guy needed 2 bars or not, but it's two different customers, and so that was it, and all in over 2 years time. So definitely longevity is there. They have really good parts. Everything lasts a long time, and yeah, so that's that. Check it out, Goliath V2. It should be a no-brainer. There's just no other lights that are going to compete with it on the market. Not even Black Dog. Like we measure, remember we measured Black Dog before. Black Dog and my max yield were around the same, and Black Dog uses like 400 more watts to get that, right. So to try to compete with the max yield, they were using like 400 more watts, and it's like, that's insane, man. This uses less watts, right? At the max 700, it's about 680 true watts is what it pulls, and this beats the max yield by almost 100 extra average par. It smokes the best Black Dog, right? So there's just nothing out there, I think, that competes. Nothing out there that competes, right? So anyway, what do you guys think? Is there anything out there that competes, that uses around the same watts, around 680, 700 watts, 650 to 700 watts, and has a better, higher average par? If so, in the comments, do me a favor, write what light you think is in the comments, and we'll see if they have a third party, because I don't trust companies anymore. I don't trust their own things anymore. You can say, well, I don't trust yours. I get that. That's why I showed two actual readings, right? I showed the center, and I showed almost it was between the edge and the corner. That gives you a really good idea that I'm giving you the right numbers. But I do plan on actually having a third party. That way you guys can be like, oh, cool, the third party is there, and that data shows true. So anyway, if you have a site, link it in the description. It should allow you to post it. If not, just tell me what light it is, and then I can go look it up and see if they actually have a third-party PPFD on there, so I can see what those numbers are and do a quick average, a quick 17 measurement average, and see what it does for the amount of watts it uses. All right, guys. Much love.